Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to Transforming with Sarah. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I hope you are doing well. As you can tell, we are back in my kitchen. I thought today I would share with you guys my favorite go-to recipe for my OMAD, or 1 meal a day. As I previously mentioned in my month 10 update, I have now been working on eating just 1 meal for the entire day. So I thought I would just share this recipe with you that's both affordable as well as super delicious and will help fill you up and keep you going until your next OMAD. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Alright, so today's OMAD is going to be my oh-so go-to favorite, what I call steak bite, and today we'll be doing some grilled shrimp on the side. To me, this is something that's not only delicious, but it's something that is on the affordable range within carnivore. So what I basically do when I go shopping at Walmart is I'll get like a 1.5 to 2 pound package of beef stew meat. It will range anywhere from about $10 to $14, and that's what's going to sustain me for a whole day. So up to $14 a day for an entire day of eating. To me, that's affordable. I know some people who eat out will actually spend more money than that. So of course the main ingredient is going to be your stew meat. I always in baggies because I get a bunch and freeze it and then pull it out a day or two before and fry it up. So that will be your main thing, of course. Now, what I also like to add in at the end is some broth. I have been doing the Pacific Foods organic bone broth. It has pretty clean ingredients. I'll go ahead and put the nutrition label here for you guys as well as the ingredients. I like to add this in at the end to add in that juice and flavor back in, but also just have that broth to sip on after I finish the stew meat. Now, of course, if you tolerate spices, you can do that. What I will be using today is both Lowry seasoned salt and garlic powder. I have been doing fine on those. There are some people on carnivore who cannot tolerate those, so just do what works best for your body. And then lastly, I do use some beef tallow that I got on Amazon. I'll go ahead and actually link that down below. Added in at the beginning with my cast iron skillet to warm it up and get that grease in there, get it nice and hot before tossing in the stew meat. And last but not least, since I said I've been craving shrimp lately, is just a bunch of shrimp that I got uncooked raw that I'll have defrosting while I cook the stew meat, and I'll grill them up after in the same pan. So I love doing this specifically in the cast iron to get a nice sear on the stew meat. So let's go ahead and get right on cooking. Okay, so I am very impatient when it comes to cooking. I basically don't cook on anything below medium because when I want food, I am ready for it and I just want it now. So I usually cook this on about medium to medium high heat. Of course, you do want to properly warm up your cast iron first, and then like I said, I will add in the beef tallow so we can start to get that melted and heated up for the stew meat. And of course, you know me, I absolutely love my coffee, so I typically have a cup of black coffee while I'm cooking because why not? Okay, so we're getting the tallow kind of melted in here and the pan heated up. Now, if you haven't watched my videos before, you'll know that I like to keep everything super simple when cooking. Even my meals day in and day out are, again, pretty much the same. I've actually been doing this one particular meal for just about 2 weeks now, and I haven't grown tired of it. But for me, that's what helps keep me focused on carnivore and keeps me on carnivore is the simplicity of it. I think if it were super complex for me, that would just turn me away. So I like to keep things super simple, and I'm working to keep it super clean as well. Okay, so now that everything is nice and warmed up, I'm gonna go ahead and toss the stew meat in. And again, this is about, I want to say this one specifically was about 2 pounds or maybe slightly above. I'm not too much into weighing or measuring my food. I just happened to look at the package and know that it was about 2 pounds. So I tossed it in baggie knowing that that would be good for my OMAD. And I like to get the spices in right away just to kind of get it out of the way and just let it get browned up with the seasonings. And of course, you'll want to go ahead and stir it all in. Now, the beauty of the cast iron, of course, is just to let it sit. You don't want to stir it as often, that way it gets the chance to kind of sear and brown up on the bottom, and then flip it so it can do it on the other side. Now, I will likely go ahead and fast forward until after this process for me on about medium-high heat. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes, as you can see, nice and steamy. Like I said, I like to cook on the higher heat, just browning it up and stirring it every, 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. Okay, so it's actually been about 25 minutes or so, just stirring it occasionally. You can see it's really started to brown up. Now, lastly, what I'll go ahead and do is get my bone broth and add that in, and I usually let it sit like that for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, I personally love to put a little bit extra so that way I have kind of that soupiness after, and I get to sip on some delicious broth after. Okay, so while I let that sit in, I did the quick defrost on the shrimp, so I'm gonna go ahead and get those peeled, and I'll probably pre-season it again with the Lowry seasoned salt and the garlic just to tie all those flavors together. So I'll see you in just a second, and we'll get this finished up, and then we'll hop right on into grilling up the shrimp. And since I did go ahead and already take the broth and the fat and put it onto my bowl of meat, I'm now going to go ahead and get just a little bit more tallow, put it in the pan, and then toss the shrimp in. Like I said, I did go ahead and take the shells off of them and then pre-season it with the seasoned salt and the garlic powder. Okay, so I do like to use the raw uncooked jumbo shrimp, just my favorite go-to. I usually cook it about 4 minutes per side or so, and I'll just flip it on each. Now, I do like to cook it after the beef, that way it has the char from the meat at the bottom, so you get that grilled, seared texture to it, so it's absolutely delicious. All right, there you have it, my giant OMAD, or one meal for the day. Super simple and, like I said, affordable. Some days I do more broth and some days I do less, but this is what kind of helps keep me satiated and going for that one meal a day. Some days I eat all of the meat, some days I don't. It just depends on the day and listening to your body, but this is one of my absolute favorite go-to meals. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, of course, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment below. If you haven't done so already, I would love to have you subscribe and follow along on my carnivore weight loss journey. So until next time, you guys, remember to stay strong, stay positive, and you've got this. Bye, everybody.